A kid sits alone in a school hallway in Pretoria, South Africa, bruised. Bullied so badly that classmates once threw him down a flight of concrete stairs and beat him until he couldn't recognize his own face in the mirror. Nobody in that hallway could have guessed that this same boy would one day build electric cars that outsell luxury brands, launch reusable rockets that land themselves, and become one of the most powerful and most controversial men on Earth. This is not just a success story. It's a story about what happens when pain gets turned into fuel. This is the real story of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of those names that splits a room. To some, he's the closest thing we have to a real-life Tony Stark, a man reshaping transportation, energy, and space travel all at once. To others, he's an erratic billionaire who tweets his way into lawsuits. But almost nobody talks about why he is the way he is. Because before the rockets, before the electric cars, before the headlines, there was a terrified, awkward kid just trying to survive his own home. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, a country then gripped by the tension and violence of apartheid. It was not a gentle place to grow up, and by most accounts, his home wasn't gentle either. Musk has spoken publicly, and his biographers have documented a childhood marked by a harsh, at times frightening relationship with his father. Biographer Walter Isaacson described a household where emotional volatility was normal, and where young Elon learned early that the world could turn on him without warning. At school, things weren't easier. He was small, awkward, and painfully literal, traits now widely understood to align with autism spectrum traits. In fact, Musk has publicly said he has Asperger's syndrome, something he even joked about while hosting Saturday Night Live in 2021. But being different in a South African schoolyard in the 1980s wasn't something you joked about. He was bullied relentlessly, teased, isolated, and, by his own account, physically assaulted badly enough at one point that he ended up hospitalized. But here's where everything changed. Instead of breaking him, that isolation pushed him somewhere else entirely, into books, science fiction, comic books, and computers. At just 13 years old, Musk taught himself to program and, in an astonishing display of focus, built an entire video game called Blaster from scratch, which he sold to a computer magazine. While other kids his age were still figuring out cursive handwriting, Musk had already built and sold his first piece of software. By his early 20s, Musk had made his way to North America, eventually landing in Silicon Valley just as the internet was exploding into public consciousness. In 1995, alongside his brother Kimball, he founded Zip2, essentially an early online city guide and business directory, years before Google Maps or Yelp existed. It was a genuinely smart idea, but those who worked there describe Musk as a boss who slept in the office, expected the same from his employees, and had almost no patience for excuses. This is a pattern that would repeat throughout his career. Brilliant vision, brutal execution style. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for roughly $300 million. Musk, still in his 20s, walked away with about $22 million, an almost unthinkable sum for someone who, just a few years earlier, was reportedly showering at a YMCA to save money. And here's the twist most people don't expect. Instead of retiring on a beach somewhere, Musk immediately poured nearly all of that fortune into a new, far riskier idea: online banking. He founded X.com. And yes, that obsession with the letter X you still see today with Tesla's Model X, or the rebranding of Twitter into X, traces all the way back to this moment. X.com eventually merged with a rival company to become PayPal. But Musk's aggressive, all-or-nothing leadership style created friction with his own team. In 2000, while he was traveling, the board staged what amounted to a boardroom coup and removed him as CEO. It would have crushed most people. Musk stayed on as a major shareholder instead. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in an all-stock deal. As the largest individual shareholder, Musk personally walked away with around $250 million. Most newly wealthy people at this point would slow down. Musk did the opposite. He looked at three of the hardest, most capital-intensive industries on the planet: rockets, electric cars, and clean energy, and decided to go all in on more than one of them at once. In the early 2000s, Musk did something almost nobody expected from a dot-com millionaire. He flew to Russia to try to buy a used intercontinental ballistic missile, hoping to convert it into a rocket that could send a small greenhouse to Mars as a kind of publicity stunt to reignite public interest in space exploration. The Russians, according to accounts of the trip, didn't take him seriously and reportedly even mocked him during negotiations. But instead of giving up, he got angry, and that anger became a company. If nobody would sell him a rocket, he'd build one himself. In 2002, SpaceX was born. Musk quickly discovered something that shocked him. The raw materials that make up a rocket cost a tiny fraction of what aerospace companies were charging to build finished ones. He referred to this markup informally as an idiot index, comparing material cost to sale price, and used it as justification to bring most of SpaceX's manufacturing in-house instead of relying on expensive outside contractors. It was a bold bet, and at first, it nearly failed completely. The first 3 launches of SpaceX's Falcon 1 rocket between 2006 and 2008 all ended in failure. The company was hemorrhaging money. Musk was reportedly down to his last funds, personally financing the company alongside Tesla at the same time. Then came launch number 4. In September 2008, Falcon 1 successfully reached orbit, becoming the first privately funded, liquid-fueled rocket ever to do so. Weeks later, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth over $1 billion. The company that almost died was suddenly the future of American spaceflight. Today, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets land themselves back on Earth to be reused, something that was considered science fiction less than 2 decades ago. At almost the exact same time SpaceX was struggling to get off the ground, Musk was pouring money into another impossible bet: Tesla Motors. Tesla wasn't originally Musk's idea. It was founded by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Musk joined as the primary investor and chairman in 2004, and over time became the face and eventually CEO of the company. At the time, the phrase electric car made most people think of slow, ugly golf cart-like vehicles. Musk's obsession was changing that perception entirely. When Tesla revealed its first vehicle, the Roadster, in 2006, he pushed for expensive design choices: a lightweight carbon fiber body, sleek styling, real performance, insisting that an electric car had to be desirable, not just efficient. It nearly bankrupted the company. Production costs spiraled, and by 2008, the same year SpaceX was fighting for survival, Tesla was reportedly weeks away from running out of money entirely. 2 companies, 2 near collapses at the same time. Musk has said this period was, personally, one of the most brutal stretches of his life, sleeping on factory floors, missing his own children's birthdays, and pouring what remained of his fortune into keeping both companies alive. Both survived, and the gamble paid off almost beyond imagination. Tesla helped ignite the entire global electric vehicle industry, forcing nearly every major car manufacturer on Earth to follow. By the late 2000s and 10s, Musk wasn't just a business figure. He was a cultural phenomenon, and that spotlight came with consequences. In July 2018, during the dramatic rescue of a youth soccer team trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand, Musk had engineers build a small rescue submarine and personally flew it to the site to offer help. Rescue officials ultimately used a different method to save the boys. When a British diver involved in the actual rescue publicly dismissed Musk's submarine as unnecessary, Musk responded on Twitter with an outburst that included an unfounded and deeply damaging personal accusation against the diver. The backlash was immediate. Tesla's stock dropped, advertisers and investors raised concerns, and Musk later apologized, though a defamation lawsuit followed regardless, which Musk ultimately won in court. But that wasn't the end of the turbulence. Just weeks later, in August 2018, frustrated by investors betting against Tesla's stock, Musk tweeted that he was considering taking the company private at $420 a share, adding that funding was secured. It wasn't. Or at least, not in any legally solid way. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission accused him of misleading investors and manipulating the stock price with a single tweet. To avoid a lifetime ban from leading public companies, Musk settled, stepping down as Tesla's chairman, paying a $40 million fine and agreeing that certain future tweets about the company would need legal sign-off first. For a man who built his entire empire by refusing to follow anyone else's rules, it was a rare moment of being forced to answer to someone.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
When you strip away the tweets, the headlines, and the controversy, what's left is a strange and very human story. A boy who felt powerless in his own home, who found comfort in machines and impossible ideas, and who spent the rest of his life trying to build things big enough that nothing could hurt him again. That drive built rockets that land themselves. It built the world's most valuable car company, and it also built a man who, by his own admission, struggles just as much with people as he excels with machines. Elon Musk isn't a simple hero or a simple villain. He's a case study in what obsession can create and what it can cost.